before I dated him, I mean, I had preconceived notion of what people in domestic violence, relationships were like, and I never thought I would be one of those people. I was always really independent and really strong, and I just never thought that I would be that person, and I was. I mean, 100%, and that was so shameful and embarrassing for me. I think that is a big reason why I don't think I told a lot of people. I was just so embarrassed. I mean, that I was making these choices constantly, but at the same time, I felt like I couldn't help it. I mean, I was making these choices, but they were horrible choices, and I knew better. I mean, I was not that person, but I was that person.
Well, I am a single mom, so our first date, he took me and Ari out for ice cream, and we just clicked from there. He was funny and adorable, so we started hanging out, going on dates.
I had met him online, Match.com. His picture intrigued me, so we probably talked for a couple nights and then went to Applebee's one night for dinner, and then the conversation was just great. I mean, everything just hit it from the start.
He basically swooned me from the beginning. I mean, I could not believe that he was interested in me. I thought that I was a pretty good catch, but I thought that he was an even better catch. So he had a decent job. I mean, he was extremely good looking. He just, he was the whole package.
He just wowed me. Anything that I asked him, it's yes, baby, yes, sweetheart, just anything. And it was just like, oh my gosh, how did I get so lucky?
We got serious really quickly. I think he told me that he loved me for the first time in October of that year. And this is 2006. And I said it back. I really felt like I did.
From the first date, we were inseparable. Sometimes you feel like you need space sometimes, but with him, it was like, no, we had to be with each other every night.
I was getting over another situation, so I still wanted to take things kind of slow. And he really didn't want me to date or talk to anyone else. He just wanted me to date him. And at first, I thought, wow, he's just really interested in me. I feel lucky, I'm special because he just wants me. But then later on, it just kind of felt like I was kind of being pressured, or kind of felt kind of suffocated a little, like I can't do other things.
Maybe 5 months into the relationship, it was just that, I don't know, just that tightness that I needed just a little bit of space, and it's just like he didn't want to give me that space. Things just started getting, I guess you could say he got very possessive. His attitude, just his behavior just started changing.
The transition was just small things. Him going through my phone, him getting upset if I text certain people, or not certain people, if I was texting at all.
He would just pick these fights out of nowhere. Nothing would happen, I didn't do anything. It would just something would irritate him, and he would break up with me for a day or two, and then he'd apologize and things would be better. I just thought he had a really weird temper at the time. I didn't really understand it, but I just thought, he was so great. I was like, well, if that's all I have to worry about is, a few temper tantrums, surely I can deal with that.
I guess my intuition with him just knowing things were not right was probably his up and down moods. He was so loving one moment and then just mean the next. I remember him being at my house one day, and then he was just, pissed because him and I were in an argument. So he literally punted my dog across the room.
There was a time that I wanted to go out with one of my friends. He didn't want me to go out, so he took my phone, my shoes, and my wallet. Just little things like that.
And then come to find out, nights that I didn't want to be with him, he would be hanging out over my neighbor's house. He'd park down the street so I didn't see his car, hanging out at my neighbor's. And then, my neighbors tell me, hey, Mike came over last night, basically checking up on you. And I'm like, I don't know if I wanted to go through this.
He started going through my phone records. He started wanting my passwords to everything. He started wanting to know where I was all the time. And every evening it was like that. I mean, it would be like, okay, well, you were on Facebook today for this many minutes. What were you possibly doing on there for this long? If I called any number that he didn't recognize at all, he had to know why I called them, who it was, how long I talked to them, what we talked about. And if I didn't answer his questions, I had to answer his questions because he would just pester me and pester me and pester me, and it would last all night if I didn't answer everything.
And then the comments that he would make, like, Precious, you're a hoe, you're lucky, that I'm even here, people, don't like you. And then afterwards, it was just like all that loving person came back. And so it really had me confused. Like, maybe people do hate me and maybe I do need to stay with him because that's the only person that's going to be there.
I slowly pulled back from all of my friends. I started bickering with my mom more. All of these people that were so important in my life, suddenly I wasn't a part of anymore. Like, I started missing out on, like, get-togethers with my friends. Like, they would have a Christmas party while I couldn't go because they didn't like Dave. And heaven forbid a fight happened because it most likely would.
At different points, we all confronted Ashley about the Dave situation and would express our feelings and thoughts towards it. But she would convince us, too, that he wasn't as bad, or that she had done something to also provoke it, or that it was partially her, or he's promised this, this, and this, so it will be different. So we just always kind of fell back into this supporting her and her decisions. Really didn't know what else to do. The only things I could do was tell her what I thought, and then, I don't know. It was very complicated.
Early on, like when I did take the initiative and was like, this is not healthy, I need to get out of this, he tried to kill himself. He actually came to my work and slit his wrists at my work. And I didn't think that I could ever live with myself if he had have actually killed himself. And so I worried about that because I worried about if I ever did try to leave, if he would kill himself.
I saw a side of her I'd never seen because when we were younger, she was very confident, beautiful, desirable by a lot of men. And I remember a time specifically where he was commenting about her weight quite a bit, telling her that she was fat, things that just really would knock her down and make her feel insecure and less worthy of him because he was perfect. And she bought into that quite a bit, into thinking that she would never have anyone that looked like him and had the things he had. And
I was very angry with my friends for a period because I wanted them to like do more, which sounds so crazy because I wasn't letting them do more. I wasn't even talking to them about it. I shut them out. I shut everybody out because I didn't want people to know how horrible it really was.
I don't know why the argument got escalated, but he ended up pulling all of my clothes out of the closet and all the clothes, me and my daughter's clothes out of the dresser, and going to get olive oil from the kitchen, just pouring oil all over our stuff. So I just felt kind of helpless. Like, it's kind of hard to go from someone who's just, you feel like you're on top, you feel like you're at least maintaining, into somebody who like you feel like you have nothing.
He controlled everything. Everything. There was nothing that was mine anymore. It was all his. I stopped locking the doors. I stopped hiding my phone eventually. I stopped trying to change my password, stopped trying to do anything. I mean, I just let him have control because it was easier than having to fight against it and having him win anyways.
There was one night, Mike was over at the neighbors calling, texting me, wanting to see me, and I don't want to see you, I don't want to see you. So he came to my door, kicking at my door. My dad had to call the police to get him removed. So that's just the night that I'm like, I'm done. You go your way, I'll go my way. But unfortunately, he wouldn't leave. And then come to find out 2 weeks later, I was expecting his child. So things kind of took a turn in a different direction. Me being, the respectful person, I thought it would be best, let's try and have some type of relationship, for the baby. I sent him a text, stating, hey, just letting you know that I'm expecting, and he had sent me, oh my gosh, you just made my day, I can't wait to be a daddy. So he's always like giving, mixed signals. It was 1 minute, oh my gosh, I can't wait to be a daddy, to the next, I can't wait till you miscarriage, or I hope that you miscarriage.
You never really knew what was going to happen, and you get scared because you don't want to voice your opinion. But towards the end, I was just really, really unhappy. And I mean, I shouldn't have said it, but I was like, you know what? I don't love you anymore. So he pushed me back on the couch, choked me, bit me around my face and on my neck. I was hitting him back to get him off of me. Then he picked me up underneath my arms and dragged me to the bathroom and put me in the tub and was just saying, if you don't want to love me, then I guess you won't be loving anyone. I guess you're dying today. And then he turned on the water in the tub. So I fought him to get out, and then he turned on the sink in the bathroom, and he made this comment about both of us dying that day, and then tried to put my head in the sink too.
It's the worst feeling in the world. You try to go to bed at night, but your phone just rings and rings and rings, and he's just leaving voicemails, and what's this voicemail gonna say?
You are a piece of garbage, Deanna. You are a piece of trash. You don't deserve what you have, and I have no intentions of allowing you to keep it.
When I first met Deanna, she was truly a woman at her wit's end on needing something to happen. And we sort of had to caution her that it's probably not going to happen right away. We, at this point, still had just a misdemeanor charge of the warrant. And I try to be pragmatic with people. I try to be realistic and let them know exactly what we're dealing with. But she was clearly at the point where she needed something to happen and to happen to help her.
Once the EPO was in order in August, I never talked to him. I never replied to his emails. Anytime that there was just, a mention of killing me or something, I documented that, took it to the courts, please, look at this. This is what he's doing. Going to the police station, listen to this voicemail, please. I need help, I need help. I don't know what he's gonna do.
I think I hate you now more than I've ever hated anyone in my life. And that's really not a good thing. I hope you lose sleep for the rest of your short, pathetic life, you piece of trash.
As it happened, things started to fall together pretty quickly. After months and months and months of her being frustrated and getting nowhere, it all did kind of come together in those last few weeks when we were able to get it elevated to the felony and get the warrant and get moving and get him arrested.
I had gotten a call from Sergeant Bianchi that he was finally apprehended, which was just a feeling of peace that I'll never forget. But he had told me to meet him at the police station, that they had taken pictures of some things that they had found in his apartment. Even after 7 years, I still felt like a prisoner of my own fear. I now suffer from anxiety and depression. Any little noise, wakes me up.
Even though I know that he's in jail now, everywhere I go, I constantly have to turn all the lights on. I have to check everywhere, make sure that nobody's there. And I mean, I'm sure I'll have to do that forever, probably.
Loving yourself makes a world of difference when you encounter situations like this. I feel like if I was really confident in who I was, it wouldn't have got to that point. I would have stopped it.
I wasn't going to let him win. I did whatever I needed to do to let him know that you're not going to win. You're not going to continue this, You're not going to knock me down. I'm going to survive this.
There are so many people that deal with domestic violence, and at the time, I don't think I realized that at all. I just should never have tried to deal with it all on my own. I mean, I was 20 years old. I didn't.